get my shoes and out the door. 5, I'm alive. 6, 7, 8, feeling great. 9, gonna shine, life is good. I'm doing fine. 10, gonna do it right and do it again, yeah. I look into the sky with all the beautiful color, but there's more than just for me, so gonna share it with another. I got to show, to give, let out. I want to sing and shout. Take a look and see a beautiful morning that turns into a beautiful evening, and together make a beautiful life. And if you wanna,
I've been in here and people are roaring with laughter, so.
It's a dirty show, though.
Well, it's clean dirt.
Forgive me, but the best restaurants of the world are here in Vegas. I mean, you have here the best of the best.
Yes.
So we have many celebrity here. The Harley Madison come over here, and the Usher come over here many often, and the Paris Hilton come here, and Britney Spears came over here like 2 weeks ago.
Boy, I'm dating myself, but it's okay. Nobody else will. Oh.
That's so Vegas. Welcome to That's So Vegas. I'm your host, Christine McKellar, live here at WCOBM Studio, right off of the fabulous Las Vegas Strip. And I have here in the studio with me 3 very handsome men and a nice big slice of the Bronx. Yeah, babe.
In the house.
I'm loving it too. I've been saying on Facebook and everything, I said, if you like black leather, lots of good hair, and rock and roll, you're going to want to watch the show today because love it. Yes, and your show is fantastic. I was so happy to preview it a couple nights ago with other media, and you had us all literally jumping up and down in our seats, and the memories, the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And although I'm a little too young for the 50s, but I had older brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So speaking of age and differences and things like that, and I want to talk a little bit too about your background prior to forming the Bronx Wanderers. But it's got to be something really special to have Dad and then your 2 sons. So
Yeah, I mean, it's just nothing better. I mean, I got to watch them grow up, and at the same time, we all pull together, and there's no egos involved. It's family.
But there's something even deeper there, and I know that you go by Yo, Vinny, because
my last name is too long, and everybody mutilates it.
right,
Yeah.
and obviously Vinny,
The kid, yeah. Vinny
you're
the kid.
junior.
Yeah,
So-
well, actually, my grandfather
I'm
was
junior.
the first, so I'm the third.
Oh, you're the third.
Yeah, really,
Yeah.
I'm Little Vinny, and that would be Baby
Yeah,
Vinny.
again,
And you're
another
the
name I don't
baby
want
Vinny,
anybody
but you
to
go
know.
by
Yeah.
Nicky Sticks,
Yeah.
right? So were you the firstborn son?
I was, yeah.
Okay, so carrying
I
on
paved
the
the way. I
tradition.
paved the way. But it's great getting to play with my dad. Out of all the bands we've ever played in, we always say he's the best
Really?
frontman we've ever played with.
Oh,
Because he's the smartest guy ever. He learned from Dean Martin. He learned from everybody that basically, Wayne Newton, everybody that worked out here forever. So just to have Dad here is an awesome thing.
That is
we're
really
happy
nice.
to support him.
Yeah, and your energy on stage is really, it's smooth. It's almost like you guys are channeling each other or something. There's no missed beats, and your backup band's great too. So back to Yo. Vinny.
Or Oi for my dyslexic friends.
Oh,
yes.
okay. Oh, goodness, I have some dyslexic friends too. I don't even want to know what they call me. But your background, you have a really cool background anyway, because you were a gold label record producer.
I was very lucky. I came out of a neighborhood where Dion came out of, and Chaz Palminteri came out of, and I was lucky enough because I knew Dion. I got a job with Terry Cashman and Tommy West, who were the guys that did all Jim Croce.
Oh, this was
and a
back
lot of the Partridge Family. This is back in the 70s.
So back when he was my age,
in the Bronx, in the New
Awesome.
York area.
This was in the New York area. They were in Manhattan, but I grew up in the Bronx with Dion and Chaz. And
Nice.
It's a great neighborhood to grow up
A lot
in.
of music came out of those environs, those boroughs,
Yeah.
So you were signing all of these incredible talents, right? But
Yes.
were you the one who said, okay, he's good, he's bad? he's
Finally, I
maybe-
worked my way up to that point. My first few years, I was just part of it, and I would constantly fight with everybody and say no, and they would say yes, and they would lose money. And then finally, as I got older, they said, you know what, just do it. And then I would go out and kind of scout talent and do talent, and it was
So you had a good ear and a good instinct when you say that.
the it factor. You know, when you watch somebody and go, he or she has it. I mean, it was always, you know, right away I'd say they got it. And,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, you must have sensed it because, you know, a lot of people pass by a lot of talent. And as you will know, the longer you stay here, and I know we talked prior to coming on the air, but you guys really love Las Vegas and you're really resonating to the city and everything. But there's so much talent here.
I know.
Even going back,
Everywhere.
and in the 80s when I moved here, you had Gladys Knight in a lounge show and Willie Nelson and people like that, you know. So they're everywhere. But this is the man, obviously, with the eye.
Two of them.
Do you have a third eye? I don't know.
No.
We're not talking. So, did you always know that you wanted to have a band, or?
I always wanted to be a performer, and my two bosses did not want me to be a performer because they were worried about the whole lifestyle. And they felt like, you know what, I was reliable, I showed up every day, I did whatever they asked me, I would never not work late or come in early, and it was just became, you know what, they want to keep me away from that. So they did, but I always wanted to do that. And I would go out on weekends and play, just to go out and say I'm doing it and sing backup for so-and-so, or go on the road with somebody for a little bit, just to get a little, you know, okay, I'm still involved even though I'm not.
Right.
And so it was great like that. But this is what I've always wanted. And when they retired, it was like, now what? Because I really had nowhere to turn.
Right.
And this kind of just all fell together, which I never thought.
You're welcome.
Well, we were going to get around to
No, I'm
you
just
guys
kidding. We love 'em.
too,
We
but
love 'em.
seriously, because part of the question was, did you wait till you retired to do what you've always wanted to do, and these were growing up, and then
Right.
you obviously had musical talent,
Yeah.
so you were probably seeing something like who was who to pick up what, who picked up the drums, or who picked up the guitar, or who you were the drummer when you were little.
Of course.
I was doing an off-Broadway play, and my wife came to pick me up one night, and the band was rehearsing, and he came in and said, you know, can I play with the band? And I said, you know, he doesn't know what he's doing. You can't have that.
How old was he?
11. And the band now, just to break my chops, like, let him play. So he wound up, he sat and he plays the overture, and I'm like, what was that? And he said, I took the tapes out of your bag and I learned it. So now the director was really funny. He said, okay, we've got our drum understudy now. And it was one of those crazy coincidences. 2 days later, I was doing a gig with Dion's band because he was in Florida and they want to keep working. And they asked me to sit in, and the drummer gets a kidney stone attack.
Wow.
So it's like, we need a drummer. Does anybody know anybody? And I said, I know this is ridiculous, but my 11-year-old
Oh, my.
will at least hold a beat to give the illusion that we have a drummer.
Amazing.
So we brought Nick on, and Chaz Palminteri from A Bronx Tale happened to be in the audience and said, what are you, crazy? Take the kids and start a group. Get Vinny and do a whole tribute to the neighborhood, and that's how, and I never thought it would work. They were 14, 11, and it worked.
It's
Here we are.
amazing, and just thank goodness that guy had a kidney stone. I mean, seriously, I'm so sorry. But sometimes
Hooray for bad health.
what you think is
Yeah.
a disaster is
Yeah.
really, it's all in how you look at it, I
Yes.
guess. Were you scared at all? I mean, do you remember doing that, or were
I
you
just-
too young to realize who you were playing for?
Yeah, I mean, I just had no idea what
You
was
just wanted
really
to
going
play.
on. I didn't know the music, really.
You wanted to
Great, you
play.
know.
Nick's got an amazing ear though, and every guy in the band can play more than one instrument. Nick is the best at one instrument,
I kind of
and he kind of is
saw
like the best
that.
musician in the band. He really
What would
is.
you say your strengths
What are
then?
my
Yeah.
strengths? Oh my goodness. I don't think we have enough time to go. No,
well,
I'm just kidding.
you know what?
I'm
Wait,
totally
no.
kidding.
You're right.
No,
In this segment,
I don't know.
why don't we save that
You
for the
know,
next
you want to know
segment?
that? You want to know the truth? I actually was a guitar player, and because everybody played the guitar, my dad looked at me when I was 14 years old and said, "Don't
Yeah, you're
do the
probably younger.
guitar, do the piano."
Younger.
I'm like,
Because
dude,
you were
come
still
on,
in
man.
middle school. You're about
Piano's
what?
not
You're about
cool.
10.
Oh,
You know,
piano's awesome.
You know, so the next thing you know, I learned the piano, and that's kind of, I needed to do what I had to do to make this band be what it is today.
We made you do
And I guess you can say I'm a utility player. I can do the guitar, I can do the drums, I can sing, I can do
violin.
whatever the
We
heck
made
I
her
gotta
play
do.
violin too.
Oh, the violin.
Yeah, fun,
Goodness,
fun,
it's
fun.
just like all of this genetic makeup flowing through you guys. I'm going to have to, we have to take a little break, and it's only 5 minutes, folks. So, you know, you want to come back because we're going to talk more about, you have a band too.
Yeah, we do.
There's a lot of other things going on in how you're sweeping Las Vegas. So a quick shout out to my sponsor, the Red Roof Inn, and we'll be right back.